Welcome to Pigeon River Farm, doing farming right. I'm Robert Brown, the owner of Pigeon River Farm. Thank you for viewing. Good evening. In tonight's episode, I'm going to kind of take a deep dive into something that's really been on my mind. It doesn't take much to watch the news over the last year and a half, well, even long before that, and see all the challenges that people have. The behavior issues are kind of what's on my mind. Being a farmer, looking out at the world, traveling to the cities and so on, I see this level of violence, I see this level of disrespect, and I question, and something that I've known about and a practice we've utilized on the farm, and then a report that I'm reading right now, and I've read many in the past, was the overuse of soy. Now, I'm not trying to by any means say that soy is the whole reason we got our cities are burning and all the distress that's going on and the election issues and so on. But you think about, we're constantly bombarding as a society, the main food source is soybean and genetically modified soybean, and it's utilized in every imaginable food that we eat. It's used as the binder, it's used as a filler, it's used as a protein source, and the overuse of it, and then the altering with the genetic modification of it has been really, in my opinion, a disaster. We've taken a health food, one of the highest quality health foods that was imaginable, and literally turned into a poison. And I think it's a poison that's doing much deeper damage. And just an example, in this article in Natural News, they go in and discuss here the effects of GMO and the potential links that are now forming with dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So and also in behavioral problems that have been studied both in human tests and in animal trials. And we're seeing that this overuse of genetically modified soy is having a significant effect. And I just think we'd all need to step back, take a deep breath, look at what's going on around us, and wonder if there's more to the story than just meets the eye. We blame the universities and we blame media. There's all these different things. But, if we're all being affected by our environment, we all know the effects here of CO2 on the environment. That's a kind of a given. Well, what about the effects here of our food? We're finding people that live in countries that are not as westernized don't seem to have the societal problems. Well, there is some, and I can make arguments to that many times. But I think we're really overstepping the bounds here, and we need to cautiously look at what we consume as food. So there's the health, obviously the health concerns of eating a good diet, but then even within the good diet, we got to think about overuse of anything. I know on the farm, one of the things, if anything we overuse, I don't care what it is, we usually have a negative consequence. So you can kind of smother with love, so to speak. And that's where I see the whole soy environment. We've gone soy-free on the farm, to the chagrin of some of my neighbors and even some friend farmers that think I might be a little nuts with this. But in my opinion and with the research, and I've got a strong educational background, and I know how to read research papers, and I see these effects. I see them all around us, and a lot of the farms are only looking at this from an economic. Do you want to put me out of business? We never get into the discussion that I think should be number one front and center is what is the effects of what we're doing? Are we having a negative impact on our environment? Are we having a negative impact on our customer? What benefits to what we're doing? What is the benefit? And that never seems to be the conversation. The conversation is, well, you're just trying to make me go broke. I already am as a farmer. The seed companies, well, we got to do one more study because that's not conclusive enough. I mean, you think back in the old days with radioactive material, with asbestos, with mercury, cigarettes, lead, I mean, you name it. All these were viewed as healthy and beneficial at one time until they weren't. And I believe we're in the same kind of situation here with a lot of our foods. And then to take something we can now so efficiently, so think about soy, It is amazingly efficient. The quantity you can pull per acre is mind-boggling. You don't have the weed issues because you use the glyphosate, you use Roundup on the weeds. So you can get 40, 50, 60 bushel per acre of soybean with a limited amount of resources that need to be thrown at it. So we have a cheap, inexpensive food. It is very desirable as an animal feed. And so you think about that. We eat it directly. I mean, it is in every one of our food sort is some type of, like I mentioned earlier, binders or filler or such. And then it's the primary protein source for animals. Now we do soy-free, grass-fed beef and grass-fed and goat. But our poultry, of course, poultry cannot be 100% grass-fed. It can be a supplement. But we use sunflower meal, organic sunflower meal. But we pay a pretty stiff price because it's an item that's expensive to start with. It's produced in low volume. And to try to work around the soy environment is actually very complicated, expensive, and filled with a lot of logistic problems. So just simply having the soy-free eggs in the kind of volume that we do to sell in a wholesale market is a real challenge. And so from one end of the spectrum to another, I see a real concern. And I'd like to have others do your own independent research. Don't just take what I'm saying here. It's just my observation, my research, and my horse sense tells me, hey, there's something wrong and we need to look at it. And so let's all make a little effort and see what you find. So this article was in on March 4th in Natural News. It's just one publication, but it was based on a summation of a series of research studies that were out there. So, make an effort, keep in touch with me, and let me know what your thoughts are. And I thank you very much, and have a great evening.